So the practice using ahad and samad, when you exhale, continually dissolve into the oneness that is unending, breathing out yasamad. When you breathe out yasamad, it is the same as breathing out toward the one and becoming melting snow, dissolving the sense of your small self into the eternal, continuous and unending, all-pervading oneness. Yasamad. When you inhale, breathe in Ya Ahad. There's nothing outside of the unity of the one that is Al-Ahad. Experience this unity as a dot, and with the inhalation of Ya Ahad, draw the reality of all that is into a dot, and experience integration of self in this dot. You become aware of the one that is the ultimate unity of being. Nothing is outside of this one. Nothing can be added to it or subtracted from it. To be fully conscious as you perform this practice asks you to accept that what you call your own awareness is actually an activity of the only being and is nothing but that being. This practice is highly recommended because oscillating back and forth between the dot and the continuation of the infinite and eternal circumference of the expanding circle gives the right psychological framework for progress in meditation. It allows us to ease into the letting go of self, dying before death. Because you just die for a moment, and then you come back, and you claim, selfhood in a fresh way. And then so it's like stepping into the water. You practice, it's transition. Melting, configuring. Melting, configuring. It's very healthy. And it's a great preparation for going deep into dying before death, becoming reborn in the real self. Okay. The Sufi invocation uses all of these levels of meanings of the one. Now, so this practice you could do you could break up your practice into 2 periods in the day. Or you could, or you could extend, what basically is maybe about 20 minutes or 25 minutes of practice to about 35 minutes or 40 minutes of practice. But basically, that's what we're doing, is adding another bit to the practice. Not a lot. This is just a different way of, number 6 is just a different way of doing the toward the one walk when you do it. Instead of already visualizing the destination, this is focusing much more on the light that you're throwing on the path. Where the first one was focusing on toward the one, mostly in the sense of being drawn toward that destination, and you're really drawing that destination toward you, like in your experience of going to the field with the cows in it. Somehow or other you were just drawn there. But that's that way in which the cobra, as the yogi studied, draws the mouse into its mouth, and just by the breath, it doesn't even have to move, So the yogis really went to school on the qualities of the animals. But here, this is just doing it slightly differently, breathing toward the one, in and out from the heart center, opening, encouraging, and allowing your heart to feel lovingly drawn by the beauty of the perfect one, and feeling the inner harmony of your connection with the source and goal of all. You radiate the light ray of your intention on the path of your life. So it's really focusing on radiating, sending forth this beam of the light of your focused attention moving toward its goal. And it illuminates your path, and you walk like the sun toward your what you're connected with when you're invoking the one. But you're in this walk, you're just concentrating more on the sun aspect of it than the moon aspect.
And that was that walk, we did the walk this morning.
Yeah, we did, yeah. That was what we did this morning. The breath practice is something, that should only take you a few minutes, and you can find some time in the day to do it, or segue it into the other practice period or whatever. But this is really very simple. It's only going to take a few minutes. To begin with the left nostril, in and out 10 breaths. Make this a long, refined breath with a natural pause at the top and bottom. Then do 10 breaths in the right nostril in the same way. Then attempt to breathe 10 breaths evenly balanced in both nostrils. Use these exercises to become more aware of the particular feeling conveyed by these 3 ways of breathing. I'm just trying to make it really practical. We're talking about Jamal, Kamal in the breath. Just doing this kind of exercise will make us more aware of what it feels like when the breath is in the left, when it's in the right, how challenging it is, and how balanced it feels when it's in both nostrils evenly. See, now here's a Kamal breath, in and out through both nostrils, which is really balancing both of these. It's finding a harmony within what could be a conflict, because it brings it into a balance. That's a simple practice to do. It goes on into further practices, which is called in Sufism kasab, which we will probably do in the future. But right now, I just want you to get, I'm really trying to take this at a stage that we can assimilate it, that we can repeat over these things, circle around them in different ways, come in on it, really keeping the practical in front of us. And that's because we have taken a long space for, doing this together, so it allows us to take it up in a proper developmental speed. The 8th one is just what we've been doing to make some note of in your journal, and that brings me to the subject of journaling. And I want to know how you're doing with it. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the MP3s,
Mm-hmm.
and so I take notes and then I have reactions or responses to the MP3s or to the reading, so that's kind of a learning thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been writing down impressions of the horror walk. It's been the one that I've had
Mm-hmm.
the most fun with, as far as pretty immediate responses. I've enjoyed that one. It is nice daily to just kind of keep tabs.
Yeah, well, you're doing it daily, and you're getting some benefit from it. It's kind of objectifying. And then if you look at the whole period of a month, and then several months, and so on, you begin to see things that you're noticing that change and how that develops. Other people have anything to share about it? People that are finding a lot of difficulty even writing one thing down. Yeah.
I noticed in my journaling, and it helped me to pay attention to this, is, you were saying earlier about how you notice you stop breathing under certain stressful situations like driving, for instance. And I noticed that also, that I wasn't breathing. And so I started paying attention, and I journaled about it, and that, sort of helped me ground in it. The driving for me is actually the really, really nice, for me, a really nice place to do my breathing, because I can just do it rhythmically and concentrate, and
Yeah, me too, and that's a good place. And the one practice you can always do when you're driving is toward the one. Just to come fully into awareness of your breath and being present in this moment. That's that sense of one-pointedness, and focus that first level of doing toward the one brings. And that's the practice you can always do. You don't have to say the phrase toward the one, you just come into that awareness. The phrase toward the one just reminds you to come into that awareness.